good afternoon. I hope you are having a wonderful Monday. So this week I'm planning to do a series of interviews with some of our Spark members, and today I'm really excited to have Dale Shepherd. If you have any questions, please do add them. But I'm going to be asking Dale a few questions about the kind of issues that business owners are currently facing. So here he is. Hello, Dale. Thank you for joining.
Of course. Hey, Jess, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Let me turn my volume up. As we're going into 2025, I'd love to ask you a few questions about the common problems you're finding that business owners and founders are coming across, because obviously you are there serving them every single day. So what are they coming to you with? What are the issues people are finding really when they're founding and starting?
Yeah, a great point. And I think a little bit of context, the majority of people that I speak to and end up helping are not at the very start of their journey, right? Whether they're selling a service or they're selling a product or a SaaS solution or whatever else it might be, they've got a good idea. And usually they're at a stage in their life or their professional career, at least, where they have a network of people around them that they can rely upon to get some early feedback. So that gives them that initial sense test, but what it also gives them is the first few early customers as well. But they're very frequently reaching an inflection point, and it's usually an opportunity rather than a problem. Sometimes it's a bit of both. So to give you an example, I spoke with the founder who I was referred to last week. His business is 5 years old. Again, typical story. It's been primarily founder-led sales for the majority of the business's life. He doesn't have a pipeline problem. He's got a bandwidth problem. So he has lots of people kind of banging on his door that he's tracking in HubSpot that are potential customers. And obviously with a SaaS solution, it's harder to manage, or you might say it's easier to manage actually the volume of requests because you don't have a service arm, right? Once people are live on the solution, you just go on to the next one. And he's also kind of double hatting as customer success. But he's like, I can't deal with this influx of demand because he's been fortunate enough in that it's actually been a very targeted kind of campaign, if you will, to land some big named accounts. So he's not grown slowly with many small accounts. He's got some big accounts like Pfizer and Takeda as random examples, and these are very large multi-year contracts. But obviously word is spreading, and he's got to the stage where he cannot do this himself. He's not a salesman by trade. He's a tech person / consultant. We've got some similar experience in our backgrounds and a lot of similar connections. But he's got to the stage where I need help realizing this opportunity, removing this barrier, because the next step of magnitude of growth for the business is on the horizon. And in this conversation, our very first conversation, we're already talking about, well, what's the exit plan, right? So at this stage, we're talking about where do you want to be for the next step of the business? And is that global expansion, tripling the team size, more features and products, acquisitions, or is it an exit? And how to get from, yes, the lights have been kept on and we've got customers and everyone's happy, to this company is now getting 5 to 10 times multiples on exits is a very different conversation.
Excellent. So essentially, people are coming to you, Dale, when they are, when they really want to expand, when they want to triple, when they want to find their exit plan, or are they coming to you sometimes with specific problems that you solve?
Yeah, and there are specific problems around things like hiring. And this is always an interesting one where, say a founder's got to this inflection point, what do? They know they need help. They might not want to continue doing founder-led sales. They might never have liked it. They might be a techie person or a delivery person, and they don't want to have those commercial conversations. I've had that conversation with some people before. They're just not good at getting things over the line. And there's a lot to be said for somebody sitting shoulder to shoulder with a founder and having those conversations, rather than the founder being where the buck stops, one throat to choke, and if they can't answer a question or agree a discount or something else that's requested of them, then the deal's dead. So yeah, there's a multitude of reasons, and I think the flexibility that I aim to bring with my company is poles apart from somebody who has to go to a recruitment agency and pay 20% on first year's salary and wait 3, if not 6 months, and then hope that person works out. You've lost 6 months. You're probably a few hundred grand in at that point. And that's if you're just hiring one person, let alone bringing a team in. That could easily run up to £500,000 in the first year. So whether it's they know what they need, and if I'm a fit, I can do it, and I'm not going to be a fit for everyone, that's fine. That's what the conversations are about. But it could be that they have a specific problem. Like I said, it could be sales hires. I met with one company in December who just recently got rid of their 6th sales hire. So hopefully 7th time's the charm with them. But we talked about how I could help and what the actual problem is. It's not the first time I've had this conversation, and I've had people I've known who are advisors and fractionals in those businesses that have said to the founder, let's not just jump to the next hire immediately. Let's just stop and take stock of what we're trying to do, why it didn't work out, what the pain points are, and do something different potentially. And I posted something on LinkedIn this week because I had 2 conversations that really drove this point home last week, which is even just stopping and closing the laptop and having a change of scenery and bringing somebody else in that you've never met before has the world of difference on the business owner's mental ability to deal with their problems and see them afresh and ask questions they've never had anyone to ask those questions to. So it's very useful conversations all around.
Yeah, fantastic. And as you say, when you're hiring somebody, it's very different to having somebody guiding through the whole process. And it sounds like you come in as a real, not just a business professional, but a business friend in a way, because you're seeing, guiding them through the whole process and making sure they get to success. And where do you see your business going? I mean, like, you and I have known each other since you began, and your business has grown hugely, and you're helping so many business owners right now, and I've seen you have some great success, to the point, if you don't mind me sharing, that
Yeah.
you've got a new amazing team member, Amy. I mean, do you want to share a little bit about your journey from where you've come to where you are now to where you're going?
Yeah, and it's quite the journey. And just to touch upon the kind of friend advisor point, I've often, sometimes tongue in cheek, referred to myself as a CEO's therapist, but I work with small teams, and often you end up being on those sorts of phone calls where everything comes out. And that you have to be, because we're all wearing so many hats in these sorts of environments to just get shit done. And if we don't have that really deep personal connection and relationship, it's going to go begging. And I might be kind of fractional in these teams, but that just means I'm not on calls with them every day. And when are you ever on a call with somebody in your team all day every day? You're not. So the work can still get done. But in terms of, yeah, you mentioned that the changes. I mean, I've almost been in business 2 years now. I cannot believe it's been 2 years, and almost since that time we met up for that drink in London, and I got to know all about Spark and joined as a member. But I've spent the last 13 years in sales and consulting. The previous 8 years were in industry, and the plan was to always do something of my own. When I was younger, that was starting a record label when I was 21, or trying to become a photographer, which I really enjoyed, but it became quite evident clearly early doors that if I wanted to do the sort of stuff I wanted to do, it was going to be evenings and weekends, and I didn't want to sacrifice my life. And I sold out and got a 9 to 5. It was a bit of a perfect storm in terms of how this happened. I purposefully created a career path that was quite unique. So to briefly touch upon that, I've had a delivery background, both from a technical and a consulting perspective. I've not been a pure salesperson for 20 years. So I have that background, and it gives me that credibility when talking about projects and technology. But I think as many people have had these conversations and situations, and they continue to today, looking at LinkedIn, it was redundancy that forced my hand. And it was the best thing that ever happened. I am an incredibly decisive person. So from hearing that news and leaving the company, it was 3 weeks to deciding what I wanted to do, finding a company name, getting the branding done, incorporating the company, and then 4 weeks after then, I launched publicly. And I only think I had 2 people that asked me what Plan B was. And I said, there isn't a plan B, because you can't make room for a plan B, because if you do, it will grow and it will manifest itself and it will make itself happen.
That
And
makes
I've not
so
looked back.
much sense. Yeah, you find the plan and you make it work, whatever. And it's yeah, I
Correct.
like that, Dale. Mm.
Yeah, I've sometimes talked about the way I've described it sometimes is kind of brute forcing it, if that makes sense. I mean, there's been nerve-wracking periods across the last 18 to 24 months. You know, I've missed a mortgage payment. I've not always known if the next one is going to be made. I've had invoices paid late that have caused me some short-term pain. And that's scary and it's unsettling. But by the same token, if you account for, you know, obviously the tax benefits of working for yourself, net, I've earned more money in the last 12 months than I ever have in my life ever.
Brilliant.
And I've had some very well paid senior sales roles in my life. So I looked at year one as paid discovery, right? Is this a thing that people want to pay me for my time? Do I enjoy it? Am I good at it? And everything else. And it's all yes. So to come to the latter part of your question, what's year two look like? It's simply put, it's growth mode. So as you said, I've got a new hire. I'm still building out my network of associates that have their own skill sets that I can bring in, that are kind of niche players when needed. But the plan is to 100% continue to build the team out. This was always going to be a business. This was always going to be a company in every sense of the word. And I need to really look at what my role is going to be next year. But I fortunately felt the ripples of success, if you will, in terms of the referrals that I'm getting in, that are keeping the conversations going, that are keeping me writing bids and responses. And that's really encouraging. And that's all come from the work that I've done, not just over the last 18 months, but the last 20 years. It all compounds.
Brilliant. So tell us a little bit about the referrals and the people that you like to work with, and maybe some of the success stories that you've had with your clients. To
Yeah, it's a great point, saying the people that I work with and want to work with, because that was actually some of the criteria that landed me in doing this as a as a career, as my next move. I really thought about the sorts of individuals that I wanted to be surrounded by, and that would inspire me to be my best me. You know, there's lots of corporate politics in offices. Um, that novelty wore off pretty swiftly by the end of my 40s, and I wanted to do something different. And entrepreneurship.
40, Dale. You're not even 40. Come on,
I'm
sorry.
42 for my sins. I'm nearly 43. But and I feel it.
Ah,
But yeah, entrepreneurship attracts a certain type of person that's willing to um, be scrappy. Like I said, get shit done, play many roles, wear many hats, and ultimately revel in the successes. And it's even sweeter when all of that happens. And I
yeah.
love nothing more than being in the trenches with these business owners and helping them. I said something to one of my prospects last week, and I'll say it again. I've said it a million times. I don't succeed unless my clients succeed.
Mm.
And that's not some cheesy line. I simply want them, as I want for myself, to be a successful, growing business. Right. One of my clients was acquired last December. It kind of came out of the blue. And that was always on the path that I felt for them at some point, but 3.5 years in, and they were able to do that. And we're continuing with them to grow strength to strength. Um, so it's exciting times. I've just onboarded a new US headquarter client that opens up a massive market for me as well as for them and my existing network as well as theirs. They have a SaaS offering that's going to come out and complement their services offering. So it's all hands to the pump, but I'm one man and I cannot do it alone. Yes, Amy's here to support me in every way that she can and will want to, but again, I'm going to need people around me to help this be an incredible value driven business.
Excellent. And thoughts on AI, because many
Yes,
business owners and entrepreneurs are integrating AI to
yeah,
help them
yeah.
expand their business and be more efficient. Are you using this? Are
I
you
am
advising businesses? Like, what are your thoughts?
both actually. It's really interesting because I felt like my adoption of AI was quite lagging in a way last year. However, I joined a London founders network called Opus, and two of my best connections, their friends are AI leaders and run their own businesses, and they do consulting as well as have their own products. So I've been getting better and better. I was shown one solution that helped me write a proposal in seconds from a call transcript. I've recently built a commercial quote book that you interrogate via ChatGPT. So you ask it for a quote, it asks you which variables you need, and it returns the value. The value there is obviously it's instant, and I built it myself in 20 minutes. But when I was looking for other SaaS solutions that did this, the first one I remembered I had a connection at, which was £1,000 a month. And I built something for myself for free within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
This morning, I've been on tools like Happenstance, where it interrogates your contacts and your LinkedIn and finds people that fit the brief that you need, whether it's people in a certain location, industry, company size, role, etc., etc. And I've been looking at another one. I forget the name, but the intention there is to help with content creation. Now, I've said that this, or I'm starting to say that Trinity Hawk is an AI first driven company because to the point you just made, and I had talked around scaling, this is one of the levers that I have to pull to enable me to keep pace. Right, to the same challenges that my customers have, I might turn around to someone and go, okay, I need a BA or a lead consultant or something else. I'm not going to get someone in the door that's running on full steam for 6 months.
Mm.
And it's going to cost tens of thousands of pounds. Alternatively, I can completely automate my back office as well as have it create value, right? So it's not just what people term RPA, robotic process automation. It's doing things. It's not just Zapier linking systems, but it's actually creating things for me. I have to be there within the next kind of 2 to 3 months for this year to fly at the pace that I need it to.
Incredible. It sounds like you're getting yourself up to date with it, and you're going to be hugely helpful to the companies, and it's something we've all got to learn. It's something that's still relatively new and growing every single day. So you might be excited to know, Dale, that our next Spark Learning Lab is an advanced AI
Excellent.
class. We've done one before a year
Yeah.
and a half ago, but the next one, I think it's really, really important that we all get up to date, and we I'm bringing in someone to run the course, and then we can all share insights. And it sounds like you've got lots as well to share, which is great. But we should be sharing some new ones for you as well. So yeah, Dale, any success stories you want to share of your clients?
I mentioned in passing one of my clients who was acquired, again, slightly earlier than planned.
Great.
In December. That was obviously on their roadmap, and I am absolutely over the moon for those 4 founders. We knew each other from previous. We used to work together, so to see their journey is just incredible. Another client of mine, very, very different profile, 30-year-old business, biotech, life sciences industry. They have a product, a service, and a SaaS offering, so they're hitting all three. They came to me by somebody else, another referral, 12 months ago. We've done 4 pieces of work across the last year, roughly every quarter. Completely rewriting their commercial model based upon the discussions that we've had. So again, something that's been able to keep the lights on and let them grow for 30 years has been flipped on its head. I've been in the weeds with them, so I'm very hands-on. I've been, again, building more commercial models, ROI, kind of value-driven metrics on, and then that's going to help their sales organization. And their annual global events coming up in a couple of weeks. Talk about that, right, and move from a model that's been in place for 3 decades to something completely new. And this is a massive transformational shift. There's been back-end tech stacks that have been changed, metrics that have been changed. They've just announced a new hire to support this move. It really humbles me in a way to hear all this and to see it happening. It all makes complete sense. We've done the numbers a million times, but to see it actually, go forth into a business and change, I can't wish them any more than all the success in the world.
Excellent. I think it's such a great service that you offer, able to come in to a business with a fresh pair of eyes, come up with new strategies, and people need that, because when you've got your head in your business all day, every day, sometimes it's really, really helpful to have someone with a wealth of experience like yourself to come in, shape them up and get them ready to expand or exit.
Exactly.
So one day I'd like to work with you, Dale. I always say
You do,
this, one day.
and we will. I promise.
I like that. We will. Well, thank you so much for coming on today for
Thank you
this
for asking me. An
lunchtime
absolute
chat.
pleasure.
Good to see you. You are so busy that we don't see you very much.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
Summertime will be easier, I'm sure, with the longer days, and we
Brilliant.
can have some, drinks at Nisel's and just enjoy.
Well, onwards and upwards for you. Keep
Yes.
going. It's great to hear your success. So thanks for coming on, Dale. And
Pleasure.
yeah, have a great afternoon. There's been lots
Thank
of
you.
lovely comments on here and
I'll
hearts and
catch up.
waves. So.
Thank you all for watching.
All
See you,
right,
Lee.
take care. Bye.
Bye for now.